Why is Ethereum hilariously underpriced? This is a tweet you put out not too long ago. What do you mean by this?
Dude, I'm just sick of it. I think somebody has to say it. Somebody has to start getting loud or louder on Twitter because it's just not right, David. I feel like Ethereum is hilariously underpriced at
Mhm.
2.2K right now. It's very clear with Bitcoin above 40K. We are now in the bull market, and I'm seeing a lot of price pumping on like what ifs
Right.
types of tokens. Other
What if price movements? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Ethereum has actual fundamentals. So I spent some time enumerating the fundamentals. And again, I
Lay 'em on.
don't know. There's some price point at which like Ethereum is fairly priced,
Mhm.
but in a bull market, I don't think that price is 2.2K. All right.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot higher. I,
Yeah.
I spent some time enumerating this and contrasting Ethereum right now versus the start of the last bull cycle.
Mhm.
And I remember the start of the last bull cycle. Bitcoin had its run, DeFi tokens had its run. And at some point in time, a number of us, myself included, just said, enough is enough. ETH at like 200 is hilarious. It is
Mhm.
stupid.
Mhm.
And I started this thread at this time to just track the number as it went up. Started at 200, then it went to 300, then it went to 500, and then above 1,000. It started to become more fairly priced, and I started tapered off after things got above 2K, where I am feeling similarly about Ethereum right now. And here's what's different from last cycle to this cycle. David, first of all, Ethereum now makes 2.7 billion in annualized profits.
That is fee revenue collected versus Ether issued,
Yeah.
right?
And you can see all of this on Ultrasound Money, by the way. And if you contrast this with like, if you do like a price to earnings, I mean, how
Mhm.
much are you paying for Ether market cap versus how much it's earning in terms of profits at $2.7 billion? The PE ratio, which is a common metric used in the stock market, common metric used for any capital asset, whether you're renting a house or you're trying to value a stock, the PE ratio of Ethereum right now is 98.
Mhm.
Okay. That is relatively low. Contrast that with Amazon. Amazon's about 75 right now. So the amount that you're paying for $1 of earnings is $75 with Amazon. Okay.
And so I think
Zoom,
what that means, 98 to 75 is that the market is pricing in that Ethereum will grow at least 25% faster than Amazon, to put it,
yeah.
like, reductively.
Yeah. 25%. Is that a conservative estimate to you? Feels that way to me.
If Amazon is a massive company, how do you grow that thing very
I
quickly? Yeah.
know. So I mean, if you look at other high tech stocks, Salesforce right now, you know what their
Mhm.
PE is, David? I just looked at
I
this.
think, like, I saw Netflix at one point in time was at 400.
Netflix goes to 400. Salesforce right now, like customer relationship management
Uh-huh.
software as a service, it's been 163 is their PE
That's
ratio.
dumb. That's dumb.
Zoom is 150.
Also
Okay.
dumb. I
And
mean,
yet
maybe that's fair, but something is dumb here because Ethereum's only 98.
the global settlement system for the world, potentially, that's the total addressable market we're playing at,
Mhm.
is only 98. And to me, that seems ludicrous. Compare that to last cycle. All right, David, we
Mhm.
like, I don't know what our PE was, like infinity. It was actually in the negative because
Right.
Ethereum wasn't even profitable. And now it's throwing off 2.7 billion in cash. And might I remind folks, the only profitable chain. All right. So this is not like the other
Antron.
chains.
Antron.
Oh, Tron.
Tron.
Yeah. Shout out Tron.
Ethereum and Tron. Shout
Shout
out
out
Tron.
Justin Sun, Tron. So that's my first point. I think that is
Mhm.
completely different than last cycle. Also, David, I was looking at Ultrasound Money yet again, which is a fantastic place
Mhm.
to go view all of the Ethereum fundamentals. And you know who are the highest block space buyers?
Oh,
This is a
let me
change from last
guess.
cycle.
Protocols are. Other
Protocols,
protocols.
yes, and a new entrant here. Okay, so I
Mhm.
looked at the past 7 days. If you do that, of the top 10 block space buyers, consumers of Ethereum block space, 5 of those were layer twos
Hmm.
over the past seven
Mhm.
days.
Mhm.
That
Protocol.
is an entirely net new demand agent consumer of Ethereum block space that we didn't have in 2020, the start of
Mhm.
the last bull run. Entire blockchains are now purchasing Ethereum block space. All right. No other chain has this, by the way. That is bullish, my friend. Like, so Arbitrum can bundle hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of transactions into one concise atomic blockchain purchase of
Mhm.
Ethereum block space. You have entire chains that are new purchasing agents for Ethereum block space right now.
Mhm.
That is bullish. I think, in particular, compared to last cycle, is pretty unique to Ethereum at this point.
And I would also add Arbitrum, Polygon, ZK Sync, Optimism. They all have their chain development kit, which is about the freedom to fork their chain development kit. So at that, anyone can be a chain that settles on Ethereum. Anyone can spin up a protocol that consumes Ethereum block space. So these
100%.
ED teams of these layer twos are also working at establishing more and more network effects around the actual settlement of all chains into the same shared block space. And so if the success of these BD teams is at all meaningful, then all of a sudden they're spinning up more chains that are consuming more block space.
Yeah, I mean, how many net new layer twos do you think we'll get this cycle, David?
More than I can think of today.
Right? Like
More.
at least hundreds. So
Yeah.
those are all net new buyers of Ethereum block space, and there will be some power law winners there. Another point that's different from last cycle in 2020, Ethereum is going to be deflationary this entire cycle.
Right.
Okay?
It already is. It already is.
It already is. Last time it inflated at about 4%, so between 3 and 4%, depending on what the burn was during kind of the most. This time it'll be at least negative 0.5% deflationary from
We
a
have
supply perspective.
never seen a full market cycle where Ethereum was deflationary. We had EIP, we had the merge happen late 2022, like at the end of the bull market. We have never seen, like when all of the massive amounts of demand for Ethereum block space was happening, was all pre-merge. We have never seen a full cycle of complete Ethereum deflation. We do not know how hot the burn can get.
It can get pretty hot. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like 1 to 2% for like periods of time, maybe weeks, maybe months. But like we've never been net deflationary in a bull market, and this time we will be. Another point, David. Okay, so we've been talking about Ethereum as if it's valued as a capital asset and has a pretty attractive PE ratio, like relative to other growth tech stocks. That's not even factoring in the monetary premium that Ethereum and Ether, the asset, can actually have, right? So if you look at something like gold, 10 to 20% of its use is industrial, right? It's like kind of like a ingredient, a commodity to produce other goods. It's a consumable product. The rest of that value of the, 8 to 10 trillion dollars of value that is in the market cap of gold, that's all monetary premium. That's because people use it as money. They use it as a collateral. They use it as a store of value. Well, Ethereum and Ether, the asset, is a store of value, is a collateral source in the Ethereum economy. Okay. And the 98 PE, that's just valuing it as a capital asset.
Right.
There's actually
that's only one part of the triangle that is valued at 98.
So there's a dial on ultrasound money where you can just like you crank this up to the
make it equivalent to
gold.
Equivalent to gold, yeah.
Equivalent monetary premium
because that's table stakes. If crypto meets gold at par in terms of money, I will consider that the bearish case for crypto. We are here to be at least beat gold.
So gold is like a 10x above its utility value in terms of monetary premium. If you did that for Ethereum, just add 10x to it. It would already be worth 22K.
Yeah.
Okay. And
this is okay. So it's worth 22K if we give ETH monetary premium equivalent amount of gold and at a PE ratio equivalent to Amazon. Which again, I would consider both of these the conservative versions of the long form of these things.
Sure. And people can adjust that however they want. If you don't believe in monetary premium, you just want to view Ethereum as a capital asset, well, great. It's, a PE of 98 right now. Okay. If you want to crank that to like 10x, then you have the monetary premium value. So the other point that's different, this cycle, David, bondholders, Ethereum bondholders, we call these validators. They're getting paid, my friend. So right now, ultrasound money, it's about 5.3% inflation rate. So if you add issuance, which is about 3.1, you add kind of the fees, the tips for block space themselves, MEV, so the tip that you receive for block space ordering, you get about 5.3% on your ETH yield.
Which goes up when block space demand also goes up. So 5.3% is the current floor in this like early stage bull market environment.
And people say, well, a lot of chains have yields, like any staking chain has yields. Okay, but the difference is Ethereum has real yields, not just nominal yields. A lot of the issuance when you're doing proof of stake on other chains, if they're inflating as much as they are dishing out to validators, it's just a nominal increase.
Yields are like 10% and inflation is like 7%. So actually, you're only getting 3%.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's even less than that, right? It's like there's kind of a delta there. So this is all 100% real yield versus like nominal yield, which I think is
not just 100%. It's 5.3% real yield, and then you add on the 1% deflation, the 0.5% deflation that we're currently experiencing. You add on both of those things.
Yeah. Okay, here's another thing, David. This cycle, Bitcoin is very likely, hopefully January, when you go destroy Gary Gensler's Horcrux, is going to get a spot ETF in the US.
Yep.
We've done episodes on this. This is going to unlock trillions in capital. Guess what else is likely going to happen this cycle? I give this a 80% probability in my mind, talking to all of the analysts. Ethereum is going to get a spot ETF as well. Okay? It'll be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and no one else is really close in getting through the gauntlet of getting it took 13 years for Bitcoin to get here. Okay. It's taking 7 for Ethereum. No one else is going to be ready this cycle. And we've done entire episodes on this. This unlocks trillions in potential capital. Okay. So, and what I would say, an amplifier for this, now that Ethereum, do you remember last cycle, people were upset about crypto, investing in crypto? It's like, it's not ESG friendly. Look at all the proof of work. Like NFTs are bad because they burn so much energy. All right. If you look at a Bitcoin or Ether ETF, only one of those is actually like ESG friendly right now. Only one of those doesn't burn any carbon. Whether you care about that, Bankless listener, it's kind of irrelevant to the narrative of
because the market wants that.
Somebody
that's not your values. That's fine, but the market loves that as well.
So that's what we got. We got the only asset to get a spot ETF, and it's the only asset to get a spot ETF aside from Bitcoin, but it's the only asset to be ESG friendly with the spot ETF. So that is bullish from an inflows perspective.
Oh, I've got more to add to that.
Please.
Yeah. So the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, this is something that's echoed by Matt Hogan at Blockwise and a few other places. Ethereum as an instrument, as a financial instrument, is just more interesting to traditional market investors because it looks and feels like a high growth tech stock in comparison to Bitcoin, which is a little bit more on the money side, which is, honestly confusing to a lot of investors. And so while Bitcoin has maybe 2.5, 3x the market size of Ethereum, I think Ethereum itself punches above its weight class in terms of external market demand simply because it's viewed as a software tech stock platform, which is easier to categorize in like the high gross risk assets that traditional investors will categorize it in. So, I mean, it's probably not going to meet Bitcoin in terms of external capital demand, but it's going to punch above its weight class in terms of its market cap versus how much external demand that there is. This is what is the vibe that has been reported by people who speak to traditional investors out in this space.
I think Bankless listener David and I could go on with these takes.
There's like the eigenlayer increasing the ETH yield. There is Ether being sent out to other chains, being the money for other chains, which is something that we saw in last bull market. The monetary premium of ETH is strong. People need low liquidity chains, low TVL chains need to have Ether as the money in their system because their system's not money either. Yeah. Like the growth of the Ether unit of account has been up only.
Yeah. I just like, as an Ether investor and watching the rest of the market kind of like rage and Ether hasn't followed suit, right? I'm actually past the cope phase. This isn't even cope. Right. This is, now I'm in the phase, and I remember I was in this phase in 2022, whereas I'm just objectively like angry about this. Like, it's stupid. It's just call it what it is. It's stupid. And I think there's a ton of investors in the Ethereum community who are looking at this. Like this tweet got massive traction, basically. And we're all looking at
your tweet that you were pointing at, which is like kind of recapping this.
And we're all looking at Ether and we're like, everybody is chasing these what ifs, and Ethereum has fundamentals.
Everyone's going down the market cap stack, going down on the risk curve.
And it's stupid. So whether the market catches up to that or not, I'm feeling very comfy with these fundamentals, and I'm just gonna, keep being angry until ETH is, a little closer to 10K at least, David. So, I'm gonna keep tweeting this 5K and below at least.
To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.